I am never buying an LG smartphone again, and neither should you. Here are the reasons why. Alright, I feel like I need to give a little bit of context or frame of reference for this situation right now. So, I have either owned or had the opportunity to play with a lot of LG smartphones dating back all the way to the LG G3 and even further back than some of those, but those ones aren't as important. And I have thoroughly enjoyed them. I've actually been an LG smartphone user for a while. They are very innovative products. I mean, just look at the V20, the V10, the V30, even the G4, which a lot of people didn't like. I found a use case where I enjoyed it, and their cameras tend to be pretty decent, I would say. And overall, their software experience isn't the worst. And this is where this gets into the thing. Most recently, I had been using an LG Nexus 5X, and that is essentially a Google branded LG smartphone. So Google told the hardware partner what to build, and LG was like, "Hey, yo, bro, we got it." So I had been using that for a long time, and I'm a long time Nexus user. Oh my gosh, I love Nexus. Both Nexus 7s, the Nexus 10, Galaxy Nexus, Nexus 5X, Nexus 6P, Pixel. Those I have thoroughly enjoyed using. I'm actually looking to getting a Pixel 2 coming up here soon, depending on financial status of things. However, so that's kind of the frame of reference I'm working with inside, so you know where I'm situated. And I'm not saying that LG as a company is bad. Their TVs are some of the best bang for buck TVs on the market. They're some of the most innovative TVs on the market. They've got tons of products that are really good. Their washer, dryer, almost everything that is not a smartphone they make is fantastic. And even the smartphones in general are fantastic. However, they suffer from one critical flaw, which is why I recommend never to buy them. Their boot looping issues. I had the Nexus 5X for a year, almost exactly to the day, and it started boot looping. However, it started boot looping a week before, or actually the day before the warranty expired, so I immediately called up LG, and I was like, "Yo, bro, this shit needs to get fixed." And they were very responsive. Their customer service is normally pretty damn good, so they're like, "Hey, let's fix this." Prior to this, their charger burnt out on me, so I contacted them like, "Yo, we can fix this." I sent it to them. They repaired it. They sent me a refurbished one back, and I was like, "Okay, whatever. It's refurbished, but it still works. It is a working smartphone, and that's what I needed." And then, almost a year to the day, my phone starts boot looping again, and this is a factory refurbished one. And this is because almost all of LG's smartphones will boot loop with active usage a year from the purchase date when the user actually gets to use it. I've had a G3 boot loop on me, G4, V10. I've actually had two G3s, two V10s, a V20. They've all boot looped on me, and I've replaced them all because that's just what it needs. That's what's happened. Or they've boot looped on friends of mine, And prior to this, I've been recommending these smartphones to people because for the value proposition, price to performance ratio, they are fantastic. But after all these boot looping issues, I was like, whatever, this is really irritating. However, up until that point, LG's been like, "Yo, bro, not a big deal. We'll replace it." So it hasn't been a big thing because, I mean, they're gone. Your smartphone's gone for a week, which is crappy, but it gets replaced, and then you have another year of usage out of it. So it hasn't been a big deal. So most recently, I contacted LG, told them about it, and they're like, "Hey, we'll cover it because of the lawsuit that they have against them." So they're like, "Yeah, well, this is a known issue," is what they said. Verbatim, they said, "This is a known issue we have, and we will fix it for you at no cost to you." And that was it. And they said, "We do not cover, cosmetic damage, but if this is the only thing you need fixed, we'll fix it for you." And so I sent it in. They did all the receipts and whatnot. And then, going on a week, It gets through like almost all the repair progress because they have the LG repair tracker, so I followed that religiously as I've done multiple times before, and so it gets to repair, it gets past repair, and then suddenly I get an email that says your smartphone has what was the word? Your smartphone has been tampered with, and I thought, I've never tampered with that smartphone. And if it's because it's been rooted, I restored it to factory default, and you guys have covered it for years, so precedent says you'll probably cover it again. So I was like, okay, maybe it's rooted, and that's my fault. And then I check the actual, the repair person, the engineer's paper that he sends with everything, and so I checked that, and it said it uses third-party parts in it. And I thought, I have never taken this phone apart. And it was factory refurbished by you guys, in fact. So I was like, what the heck is going on? I call them back up, and the person says, first of all, your phone's no longer covered under warranty. And I said, I know. However, you guys previously stated that is covered under the lawsuit, so you would repair it. And the person says to me, even if it is covered under warranty, which it is not, we no longer honor any warranties for this phone because it is old enough, and we will no longer repair any smartphones that are this old or this device unless they're even if they're covered in warranty. And I was like, wait, so you're saying that even though you sold me this phone and it is covered, even if it's covered under warranty, because it's old enough, you will no longer cover it? And that has nothing to do with the third-party tampering, apparently, even though it was factory refurbished. Which factory refurbished means it went to the LG factory and was refurbished by them. So I thought, what the heck? And then the person says, you have to pay $20 diagnostic fee to have this shipped back to you. And I was like, why should I have to pay $20 diagnostic fee to have something that you guaranteed me was covered? Because I called multiple times to make sure that this was covered, and they said yes, yes, yes before I sent it in, because I did not want to have any issues, because I knew it was out of warranty. And they said because of the issue with the boot looping thing, it was still covered. And just to understand what a boot loop is for LG products, the boot loop is because their BGA solder joints of their SoC or system on a chip, their processor that they have inside these phones, essentially they're weak and cracked or something of that nature is what I was reading about it. And so after about a year of usage, not even heavy usage, just a year of average everyday usage, these solder joints can crack. And so it's actually pretty easy to repair. Essentially all they do is they pull off the chip, re-clean off the solder joints, put some new BGA grid on that, and then do a quick solder down. That's all it is. It's remarkably easy to actually do this if you have the tools. And so I was like, and this affects pretty much every LG dating back to the LG G3. And that is why I can no longer recommend buying LG smartphones, even though on average they're pretty decent smartphones. And I feel like I have been completely ripped off, and the customer service up until that point had been fantastic. And then when the person said, the representative, we no longer honor that warranty, even if it was covered under warranty, and we're no longer covering this under the lawsuit, basically you're completely screwed, and that I think is completely unethical, and just being it's shined a negative light on a normally pretty prestigious company. And think about this. They knew this was happening, and they said, hey, we'll repair everything. However, they still haven't fixed it in their modern smartphones, so I don't get that. And I am, needless to say, pretty salty and pretty turned off, and I can no longer recommend this company for smartphone purposes to anyone, and I will actively turn off anyone from buying a smartphone, except if they're just using it to get a general guide, like let's say review, like if a tech channel is looking to get something, or me in the future, and if I want to review something, I might get it, but I will no longer actively purchase one of these smartphones for my daily driver. And again, I recommend the same to you. This has been a very terrible experience for me, and will probably end up being a bad experience for you. Thank you for joining me. Listen to this sort of, I guess, a little bit of rant, but mostly just a public service announcement to anyone who owns an LG smartphone. You are probably going to get screwed in the rear end if you have one, as I have. So, just a warning. Thank you for joining me. This is PG Tech, signing out, sadly.